is automation killing a lot of jobs in aviation, particularly in aviation security, which previously existed?
Well, it's not true. Even if the airlines closes down, still they require the security staff to guard the installation and the aircrafts.
A very warm welcome and good afternoon to all the av geeks around the world. For today's episode of Airworthy Talks, we have with us the very experienced and accomplished aviation guru, Mr. Anup Bhatnagar, sir. He has been an ex-Air Indian and has almost more than 3 decades of work experience in the field of aviation security. He has worked at almost all international airports in India. Apart from that, he has worked as a pre-positioning officer for the Honorable Prime Minister, President, and Vice President of India. Anup sir had worked in different sections of security from vigilance to investigation, fraud prevention, intelligence unit. And as a fun fact, he was the first certified aviation security instructor from the first batch organized by BCAS, New Delhi in the year 2004. Currently, Anup sir is passing on his decades of experience in aviation security by nurturing young aviation professionals in aviation security, soft skills, and personal development domains. Let's now deep dive down into the world of aviation security with Anup sir. Anup sir, welcome to the show. Very good afternoon.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. So, sir, when I interact with students, security is one such aspect which not many people are aware of. This is something which people generally see it while they are passing through the airport security. And that is just the tip of the iceberg. But behind all of this, seen things, there is an army of people who are working behind the scenes and keeping our airports and skies safe. But when we talk about aviation safety and security, we use both of these words very commonly, safety and security. So can you tell our students, our listeners, that what is the major difference between safety and security?
It's a very good question right from the start. And thank you very much for calling me for this session. First of all, safety and security are the two pillars of the airport. Of any given airport, there are two pillars, that is safety and security. Now, safety are the standards which are to be maintained. If you happen to go at the airport, that most of the staff would be wearing a fluorescent jacket. Now, those wearing a fluorescent jacket is a safety issue. Maintaining a speed limit at the airport is a safety issue. Nobody should cross the runway or the taxiway is a safety issue. Now, these are some of the safety issues which has to be taken care of.
Right.
And as far as security is concerned, like a common man's language, I would say that the security is carried out on three things. The 3M, that is the man, machine, and the material. That is the personnel who was working at the airport. They should be security cleared. They should take care of the security. Then we have the machine, the equipment which is there. That's the major portion is the aircraft has to be secured. And whatever material is going inside the airport is also to be secured, because finally major part of the material has to go on the aircraft. So the major part of the airport is safety and security, because if anything goes wrong on ground, we'll have.
Absolutely.
That's the reason this airport has to be kept secured all the times.
Absolutely right, sir. That's a very valid point out here. You have actually said it in a very easy way, the difference between safety and security. Now, sir, one common problem which students find it very difficult to understand, and sometimes when I speak with industry people as well, they are kind of not able to, identify the difference between airline security and airport security. So when we talk about security, what is the sheer difference between airport security and airline security?
Now, if you take it as the airport security is a state subject. That means guarding of the airport and the installations, the major installation at the airport, has to be guarded by the state.
Right.
So, in some of the if you take the present condition in the India, there were 60 airports is guarded by CISF, that's a Central Industrial Security Force, and it is known by ASG, Aviation Security Group.
Yes.
And rest of the airports are handled by the state police, and that is known as APSU, that's the Airport Security Unit.
Right.
So the major portion is guarding of the airport is done by the airport security. Now the airline security is they are only confined to handle the airlines.
Okay.
So that's the difference between, because the people who are from CSF or from the state police doesn't handle the airlines. It is the people from the airlines only will handle the airlines and not the terminal building.
Absolutely right, sir. Thank you. Thank you for that enlightening difference between airport security and airline security. Now, sir, I wanted to know from your decades of years of experience that what is the most challenging factor when it comes to aviation security? What is that you have faced as a major challenge from your personal experiences?
Well, if you see, every day is a challenge.
Right.
For the airline security personnel, every day is a challenge. Every day is a new incident, a new passenger, and a new incident. So one has to be thorough in the rules and regulations while doing his job, and should have been certified in all the examination being conducted by the BCS, and then only should be allowed to put on the duties. So for us, every day is a challenge.
Absolutely, absolutely. Every day is a challenging factor out here. So, I also wanted to know, sir, when we talk about aviation security, students only think the person who is there at the airport security are the only jobs which are available, or let's say the only department which carries out, basically the CISF. But I'm sure that there are also different departments under aviation security. Can you sort of talk through what are those different departments in aviation security itself?
If you see at the airport, there are three agencies which are there at the airport. One is the airport operator, which builds the airport. And then there are the airlines operators, and the last is the CISF.
Right.
Now, if I take it in a common man's language, like a builder makes a mall, the same way the airport operator builds an airport.
Right. Right.
Now, in the mall, there are a few people buy offices. Some people take the offices or the shops on the rent. Same as the airlines comes over here, pay the charges, parking charges, and go to the next destination. And to guard the mall, they require some security staff. Same as the airport. The airport is guarded by, because it's a state matter, it is guarded by either by CSF or by the state police. So that is why the three agencies had their own security departments. Airport operator has got a security department which looks after the air side and the land side security. Some of the airports, they carry out the inline security systems, the baggage handling system, and then they have their vigilance and the security unit also. But major portion of the work at the airport is done by the airlines security. Is it right from the X-ray at the check-in counters till the aircraft gate, over the wing, under the wing, cargo security, and baggage security, every major portion is done by the airlines. So this is the difference between the airport security, airline security, and the state security.
Right, right. So let's say if someone wants to start a career in aviation security, because this is something which attracts a lot of students, and then they kind of see that ye sarkari job hai, or these are all government jobs. So how can someone sort of start their career in aviation security? Is it only government jobs which are available, or there are a lot of private aspects to aviation jobs in security as
Now, as far as the job in the security department, every airlines has to have a security department
well? Right.
headed by a CSO. There's a
Hmm.
chief security officer,
Right.
right? Whether it's a non-scheduled operator or a scheduled operator, they must have a CSO. Rest of the people, either they can have their own people inducted into the company, or they have to hire those people from the national carrier, that is Air India.
Okay. Right.
So major portion is handled by the Air India people. Major airlines is handled by the Air India security staff, and the handling agent is Air India. So
Mhm.
whatever the charges is there, the other airlines pay to the Air India.
Okay. Right.
Now, as far as the security staff is concerned, mainly they are taken as a graduate, and if it's a NCCC certificate, nothing like it, because they get an extra privilege for that. And major portion they join as a security agent because due to some reason the vacancy were freezed. So the people are taken on contract for 3 years. If they do well, their contract is renewed for another 3 months, 3 years, and people continue. I've seen people they are continuing for 15 years on contract, and they are doing a good job.
Right, sir. So, are there any particular courses which students can do to enhance their job opportunities in aviation security?
Now, major portion is conducted by the BCS. They need not to have a special course or anything done by that. But if they have the knowledge, yes, it is good for them to clear the interview, answer the interview.
Mhm.
And but the major portion is conducted by the BCS. As in when they join any of the airlines, they have to go for a 5 days induction course. Now, on the induction course, they are just told about the basic of the airport and the airport functioning. Because most of the people have not seen the airport, not familiar with the airport,
Right.
and then they are sent to the operations for the practical training. They work under a supervisor who's a certified supervisor for 6 months, and then they go in for an examination for 12 days that is known as AFSEC basic course. They have to clear that examination, and the basic passing marks is 80%.
Right.
If they don't clear the exam, they will have to appear again, and the maximum chances they get is 3 chances only.
Wow. Right.
And
Yeah.
after that, yes, please. Go
No, no,
on.
sir. Please continue. I'm sort of like loving it. Please continue. Yeah.
And after the basic examination, they have to go in for the screener's test, where they are allowed to operate the standalone X-ray machines. They go in for. There is a separate course for the inline X-ray machine operation system, and there is a separate course for the standalone X-ray machines. Then they go in for that examination, and once they cleared, they are known as the certified screeners. And it is not that once they get it and it's once for all. Every 2 years they have to go in for a refresher course, and
Right.
they have to clear that refresher course also. But the duration is shortened by, say, from 6 days to 3 days, or maybe 12 days to 3 days. This is how they go about it.
Brilliant, sir. Brilliant. A lot of insider facts out here. Particularly, the moment you join a company, it's after that the actual training is provided, and from
Yes,
there the student there continues their journey. Sir, I
correct.
also wanted to know how does a career progression in aviation security look like? I mean, initially we start very basic as a security agent, and let's say how our careers they start growing from there. How does the career progress in aviation security?
Now, once they start their career as a security agent, then they become after a few years, they become senior security agent, and then they become a security supervisor, and this is how they keep on rising.
Right. Okay, sir. In today's world where everything is supported by technology, I mean, we are surrounded by technology. How big of a role does technology plays when it comes to modern aviation security?
It's a very important role. They play a very important role. I tell you, maybe about 30 years back, the things were quite different.
Mhm. Mhm.
But because of the threat perception, the technology has increased, and now we have so much of equipments that we need not to touch a body of the passenger, and even we can still find out what he is carrying inside his body or maybe under his clothes.
Right.
We have later equipments like handheld metal detectors, we have metal detectors, we have X-ray machines, we have body scanners, we have hand geometry, we have IRS, lot of things, biometric system, lot of things have come up,
Mhm.
and which is really helping the security staff to work at the airport, because clearing the passengers, the amount of passengers leaving the airport on a daily basis is huge, and that is one of
Right.
the reasons. Like a person who's there sitting at the X-ray machine only works for 20 minutes.
Mhm.
He
Right.
leaves after 20 minutes, another person takes over. Then he works for only for 20 minutes because the concentration goes off after 20 minutes.
Wow. Right. Absolutely. Yes. Sir, with technology comes easiness in doing jobs. But then again, at the same time, is automation or is technology killing a lot of jobs in aviation, particularly in aviation security, which previously existed? Is that the case, or the jobs are still out there? What is the scenario?
Well, it's not true that the jobs are not there. Yes, jobs are there. Even if the airlines closes down, still they require the security staff to guard the installation and the aircrafts.
Right, right,
So the job will keep on growing as and when we buy the aircrafts or any airlines buys the aircraft. Job of the security staff is now a very technical job, is no longer like chokidars.
right, right. Absolutely right, sir. COVID-19 has impacted our day-to-day lives. And when it comes to aviation security, I think it has also impacted a greater segment of how security is to be conducted with physical distancing and all of that into equation. So, how COVID-19 has posed a challenge to aviation security or the aviation security personnel?
Now, there's no challenge has been faced by the airline security in COVID-19 because there's only a distance has to be maintained. Even previously, also, if anybody would go to the airport, there used to be a yellow line
Hmm.
before any check-in counter or maybe any security check, and the
Right,
person has to maintain that distance.
right.
So the distance is already maintained there
Hmm.
at the airport that
Hmm.
between the two passengers this has to be maintained, and now instead of hand touching we have got all kind of equipments where we can check the passenger and find out what he's carrying under his clothes.
Now when you say it, I actually recollect my travel journeys. There was actually an element of physical distancing already present at security, so that the operations could be much more smoother. And this pandemic, as you rightly said, won't have that challenging aspect into picture. Uh, right, sir. Sir, what is happening now in greater aspects of Indian aviation industry is that we are gradually moving towards privatization. If we look at airports, airports are getting privatized. There is a huge boost to privatize, airlines, particularly Air India and governments, all the PSUs under Government of India. What are your views on aviation security being privatized? Do you think that it should still be guarded by CISF or the state force, or private agencies should become a part of it? What is your views of aviation privatization?
Well,
Security.
even as per the BCS, security cannot be privatized. We don't watchmen.
Mhm.
Watchmen is very good at the housing societies and other places, but we want all technical people to work at the airport.
Right.
So there's a rule that security cannot privatize. Yes, they can work on the air side, on the land side, but on the air side, the security cannot be privatized. It has to be either from the airlines or from the CISF or from the airport operators security.
Brilliant, rightly said, sir. Because these are national assets, and national assets are to be guarded by people who know what are the rules and regulations, and those have to become with a bit of standards. You just cannot give it to every Tom, Dick, and Harry out there. So rightly mentioned, sir. I mean, privatization, though it happens across airports and airlines for aviation security, it still has to be in the hands of right person. Right, sir. Thank you so much for your enlightening views. Moving on to our rapid fire round section. And in this section, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions and you just have to give like one-liner answers for them. So, are you ready, sir? Shall we start?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, sir. What is your favorite book which you have been reading? What is your favorite book to read?
My favorite book.
Yes.
Well, it's mainly on the on helping people.
Nice, 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 sir. Yes, please, sir, tell me.
Yeah, because I don't have a favorite book. I all read where I can help the people.
Right.
So there's nothing in particular, but I read all those books which could really get into where I can help the people.
Thank you. That's quite interesting, sir. Moving on to the second question. Airport travel journeys have become hassle. So, what is your most favorite and worst part of your airport travel journey? So, is it the check-in or security which you hate? And what is the most loving part of your airport journey? What is that you like and dislike about your airport journey while you're traveling?
Well, my airport journey was beautiful. I liked everything. There's nothing to dislike about the airport functioning. I learned a lot from there, and I still love it, that place. And I've got love for the airlines. And that's the thing I can only say. Nothing to dislike about it.
Brilliant. That's a true aviation fan. I too don't dislike anything about the aviation or the airport journey, right, sir? My next question to you is, what is that one thing which you were not doing before the pandemic, but now you have started in this pandemic?
Well, before the pandemic, I used to take the physical classes. Now, after the pandemic, I have no choice but to go on virtual platform.
Right.
And
Very
at times
true.
that bugs me.
Absolutely right, sir. And such is the change of the scenario as well for me in person as well. I mean, before the pandemic, it was only offline classes, but all of a sudden there is this huge shift where now Zoom has become our classrooms basically. So, very well said, sir. My next question to you is, what will be your advice to your 25-year-old self? So let's say if you are meeting your 25-year-old self, what will be your advice to him?
My advice to that age is be a good person.
Wow.
Be a good person. Help people. If you cannot help them, don't hurt them.
Very
That's the
nicely
only
said. Very nicely said, sir. Very nicely said. My last question to you is, if Anup sir was not doing aviation, or if you were not in the aviation industry, what else you would have been doing?
Well, in that case, I would have been a teacher in some school.
Right.
Because teaching is my passion. So that's why I would have become a teacher.
Very rightly said, sir. I mean, teaching is something which is a common passion, which I share with you as well. I mean, once we are there in the classroom, the knowledge which we would like to, sort of share with the upcoming youths of the aviation industry is something which I always find fascinating about it. So, thank you so much, sir. It was a very good talk show with you, and thank you so much for your time. It was a very good session with you. Thank you. Thank you for being with us. Thank you.